Recording. All right. So, welcome everyone. So, if you have been having challenges regards to your VirtualBox, how to set it up, how to set Kali up, here is your recording. Okay. So, we kick start. All right. We kick start. First off, I have already downloaded a VirtualBox, and I want to run it. Okay. So the installation is going right now. So the installation is done. So it says that we should start up this particular VirtualBox. So the startup is already done. Okay. So the next thing for us to do is to kickstart the installation of this particular VirtualBox. So first thing to do is to go to new. If I go to new, I will type the name, which is Ubuntu. Sorry, Kali, not Ubuntu, Kali Linux. All right. I will come down to this place and go to others and go to my documents. I can come here and Control Shift N to create a new file. I can call it Cyber Lab. Okay. I will click on it and select folder. So after selecting folder, I will come down to this place to select the ISO file. And this is my ISO file. I have already copied it to the document. So I select the ISO file. Okay. Here the OS is Linux, but the distribution or distros is not Linux, but rather is Debian. Okay. This will not work, so don't bother going through there. All right. So I have 8 gig here. I can just add a little bit. I have a uh 12 CPU here. I can decide to give it like 3. I can give it like 3. I'll come down to this place. I have 20. Maybe I can decide to make it 25. But yours, you can make yours as much as possible, provided you have enough space. Okay. For you to know your space, you just go to the folder, go to this PC, and then confirm this. You see that all mine has been almost filled up. I just created a space for this particular one. All right, so 25 is good, and that is it. Then you come down to this network. After the network, yours might be on basic. If yours is on basic, you will be limited with what you can do. So switch it to the expert. So switch it to the experts, then go to bridge, go to the promiscuous mode should be either allow or allow VMs. Okay, so now, okay, so I have already selected that of my network. So you see that the powering up is coming up. So we show so that we see what the recording or how the recording is. looking like. So at this point, you should be using your uh, key, your button or your typed keyboard more often. Okay. So now I can go down to this place. I'm using English. Yes. You can choose your language. I'm using US because my art is on top of my two. Okay. It's on top of my two. Then I would say continue. All right. So it's trying to scan the installation media, okay, and loading the additional components that the Kali Linux requires to um, install. Okay. So after doing this, then the installation proper will begin. The installation proper will begin. Think I need to pause this and come back when it must have been done. Control F7. All right. So it says that the network auto configuration failed. Your network is probably not using the DHCP protocol. Alternatively, the DHCP server may be slow or something like that. Let's continue and see what the challenge is. All right. Let's go back to the network and see what retry network auto configuration and host name. Let's go to the network auto configuration again. Imena, is that? Ya bụ na ị ga-akọntinu ị ga-akọntinu gaa chenji ebe ahụ ị hụrụ option to impute IP address. IP address. You will. Okay, so we have the network host name to be Kali. I go next. My domain, I will leave it open unless I have I have a domain that I want to impute there. What's my full name? I can call it anything. Um, ethical, ethical being. Okay. I go next. It will take the username that it wants. If I want, I can change it by clicking on this place and then using another thing entirely. But I will use the ethical. to ask me for my password, I can just put 123, 123, and I should repeat the password. I should repeat the password 123. Okay. So I continue. Now it is setting up. Is setting up the clock. It's going to start setting up the clock. After setting up the clock, the installation will continue. After it must have unpacked the file that I copied to that particular set of folder. Okay, it will unpack those files. After unpacking those files, it will install. After installation, so I will pause the video, then come back when it must have prompted something that we needed to do. Okay, all right. So it just came up. All right, so we go to continue. It's now trying to declare the disk that I created earlier. Remember the time I imputed 25 gig as the disk name. Okay, so it's trying to start up the partitioning. Yes, how do I want this installation to be done, or this partitioning to be done? Do I want to use the entire disk, or do I want to use part of the disk or stuff like that? But I want to use a guided use entire disk because we have already given a size that we want. Okay, so I will click on it, then the size will come out. I will select it. Sometimes it will give you option to insert manually, or it will give you this particular um, kind of information that is here. But check out for SDA. Okay, so you click on it and go continue. You want all files to be in one partition. This also is recommended if you are the new setup. Let's say you are setting up for the first time. All right, so you go to continue. Okay, you want to finish partitioning and write changes to this particular disk. Do you want to install this, all of these? Do you want to have them in this particular disk? Yes, I want to do that. I go next. The installation is installing the base system. So after installing the base system, it will give me option to it will copy the files, okay, to the installation folder, unpack the files, and then the installation will continue. All right. All right. So looking at this, you will see that it now asks us, how do we want to view this particular kernel? All right. So you see the things that I have selected, you can decide to do the one you want and then give us the screenshots. Okay. But just mark this particular desktop environment, SFCE, okay, which is the normal default um, desktop environment. Okay. You can also be able to set up all of this by clicking on them. Okay. So after that, I will go continue, and is now copying the files to the download to the installation folder. After copying the files, it will unpack. Okay. After the unpack, the installation will continue. All right. All right. So it now brought us to the point where it's asking us to install GRUB Bootloader. All right. So we said yes that we want that to happen. So it will now give us option to select to enter device manually, or select the one that is already existing, the one that is already existing. So That is the one that we just selected. All right, we click OK. Let me continue. All right, so if you look at this, you see that it is the installation is finishing. All right, so let's wait for the installation to get done. Then we can now restart and then run some one or two commands like update and upgrade. Okay. All right. All right. So friends, when you look at this, you can see that the installation has completed. All right. So now it's asking me to click continue to reboot. All right. So I choose continue. It will say finish up the installation and then rebooting into the new system. All right. So right now, the rebooting is what is happening. Okay. You can see that there are some things that is going on the background of this visual box. Okay. So it's going to reboot to the system, which is the Kali, and then we run one or two commands just to make sure that our system is up and running. Okay. So that is what we are going to do, and that is going to mark the end of our program. Remember the username that popped out was ethical. Then the password is 123. I just imputed that and then hit enter to log in. Okay. So now I am currently on the Kali Linux. So looking at this place, I can come to this place, go to the desktop settings and choose the desktop wallpaper that I want. Okay. Choose the desktop wallpaper that I want. I can choose this particular one. I can choose this one. I can choose this one and so rest of them. All right. When I do that, I click close. Then come to this terminal. Look at this place that is dark, black in nature. It will say terminal emulator. So we want to use a command prompt. Okay. So for us to use a command prompt, the first thing for us to do is to sudo apt updates. Okay. Updates. We input the password. The password is 123 like we all know. So the installation is going to be up. All right, look at this. You see that I have a full screen. Sometimes you might not have this particular full screen. In that situation, you will be required to maybe install a guest edition or update the guest edition CD image. Okay. So I am currently updating my Kali Linux. After updating, I will give you another command that you will use to upgrade the Kali Linux. All right. So when you look at this, you see that the update is done. All right. So the next thing for you to do is sudo apt upgrade. Okay. Upgrade. You now put hyphen y. Hyphen y is to say any place that it prompts that you want to install anything. All right. It will say yes. This hyphen y is just yes. You now hit enter. Okay. So when I do this, you see it says upgrading 0, installing 0, removing means that everything is in order. All right. Everything is in order. So now I can now clear my I can now clear my screen with command clear. All right. Thank you.